Assalamu alaikum and welcome to a new episode of Words of Wellness. My name is Yassir Al-Manawi and I'm going to be your host for today's episode. And again, I forgot to tell you, I'm a clinical therapist, which is, I don't know if it's related to this or not, I think it is. Today we're going to talk about character. Muslim character, human being character, and the character of a person in general. So character is very important. Let's first read the hadith and then we're going to define what is character. What do you mean by character? So let's read the hadith and we'll get back to that. From Abu Durra radiallahu anhu, who said that Allah's Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "There is nothing which is heavier upon the balance than a good character." What does that mean? What do you mean by heavier upon the balance than the character? It means that the very important thing in our lives, the things that has the most weight in our lives is our character. So let's see. In the treatment setting, in psychology, a lot of times what we do is that we say, well, somebody's coming for rehabilitation. There is a big difference. I wanted to say something just for a minute. There is a difference between habilitation and rehabilitation. Habilitation means that somebody that didn't have anything, and you start building them from the ground up. It means that they didn't have any values. It means that they didn't have any belief system, and you habilitate them from the ground. So a person that comes to treatment, we do rehabilitation. What does that mean, rehabilitation? It means that they have a set of values. It's still within them, deep inside within them. However, it did work for them. Ways that they used to deal with things like they used to deal with problems, for instance, in a certain way. It worked for them until a certain point, and then it stopped. Then they started to have problems. What are these problems? Why do they have problems? Because my way of dealing with things when I was 8 doesn't work with me when I was 16, doesn't work with me when I'm in my 20s, doesn't work with me when I'm in my 40s. So what I need to do is that I adapt. My values do not change, but my ways of dealing with things change. This is actually the heart of the character. The values are the heart of your character. The philosophy of you or of your views in life is the heart of your character. Let me give you an example. A lot of people who come to treatment, for instance, they have a problem saying no to other people. And then when you ask them why, they simply say, well, because if I say no, other people are going to be upset and they might leave, they don't want to be my friend anymore. I look at this from a total different point of view. If you say no to other people, you are actually stating a point. People respect other people who have an opinion. You need to have an opinion. I need to have an opinion. Everybody needs to have an opinion about certain issues. Not all issues, because we don't know all issues, but about the issues that are close to us, the issues that pertains to us. We need to have our opinion, and we need to be able to speak out our opinion without any fear. That's the character of a human being. A lot of times we talk about somebody has charisma. What is charisma? Charisma is a character. Somebody who has a character, charisma is when they go somewhere in a meeting or in a setting or any setting, you find people still remember them after they leave. They could go and stay for 5 minutes and they leave and people say, oh, who is that? Who is this? They really have a good opinion. That's the character. And as a human being, character is very important because of what? Because it prevents a lot of issues from happening. A lot of issues that are negative from happening. character prevents injustice from happening. Injustice to who? The first, as I always say, injustice to me. Because if I have a character, I'm going to speak my mind. I'm going to talk about myself, about my views. I am going to satisfy myself, and therefore I will be able to help others. I will be able to satisfy others. If I don't have a character, I will be like a doormat or a yes'm person. A yes'm person is a person who always say yes to everybody. And then what happens? If I'm going to give you this example. If I say yes to everybody, what happens to me? I get angry. I get mad. Do I get mad at other people? No. I get mad at myself. Why? Because I'm not able to stand up. I get mad at myself. Why? Because I feel like people are taking advantage of me. But in reality, I'm doing that to myself. Okay? Why? Because I don't have a character. Because I don't have an opinion. Okay? So instead of looking at myself, an honest look, I put my anger out on other people. As a result, what happened? People start deviating from me. People start walking away from me. I start having no friends. I start feeling sad. I start feeling sorry for myself. I start having depression. I start isolating from my society. I start not going to work, not doing anything. So you see, there is a lot of emotional baggages that goes with the character. That's why I urge everybody, when you raise your children from the very beginning, you raise them that they have a character and they have an opinion. It doesn't mean that they have an opinion and they talk about anything to anybody at any time, whenever they want to talk about it. No, they need to have common sense. There are things to be said at a certain time, things to be said at a different time. So you need to develop this common sense at the same time, and that's a part of the character as well. Let's see. What happens? I'm going to take this all the way to the end. After we leave this life, what is remembered of us? I think the most important issue in here is that our character is what we leave behind. Our knowledge is what we leave behind. Our good deeds is what we leave behind. And the character affects all of them. So we need to pay attention to our character and have pride in yourself, and don't be afraid to make yourself comfortable and say your opinion. Again, I'll leave you with these words, and we'll see you in a different episode, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.